What up, though, Detroit? It's your girl, Christina, a.k.a. Ina Lee. And we want to welcome you, Detroit and online, to T and the D. I got my host.
I'm Cardi, you know what it is. And, you know, we here at the Big Trav Show, you know, as well.
Hey.
That's right. What's up, guys?
Hey, Big Trav.
Well, like she said, I want to welcome you guys to the Ready to Love Detroit episode 7 recap show.
7. What up, though? We are in here.
I'm excited.
Sponsored by my man Christian and the Shadow Gallery here in Detroit.
Woo!
And man, guys, this was a great show. This was a great episode. I thought this was the best one yet. How about with you guys?
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't know. It was the best one now.
Yeah, I would say one thing that I did like a lot about this episode, there was a lot of drama, but what I can say is that the editing and stuff was great. I feel there was a lot of input of the actual dates. You know, I think we really got to see different sides of everyone. You know, and I think it's going to unpack really well because it gives us something to not only look forward to, but we may have like shifted in terms of like which characters we were rooting for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's get right into it. We're going to start with the ending of episode 7. We found Nicole and Ashanti trying to decide who was ready to love and who wasn't. And so let's start there, guys. Yep. You know, my question right away is, do you guys think Nicole was done when Ed left?
Man, so that is an amazing question. I think the episode hashtag for this should be, that's why she let Ed go. I mean, if you watch the whole episode, I think that you can see that she was interested in someone as to why she was willing and able, I think, emotionally to let Ed go. And again, we love Nicole, but just from watching the show, it seems like maybe Devon surprising her with so many connections was overwhelming.
Okay.
And with that reality, it was like, oh, Ed out of here and your other top. And this was her, gotta have been her top, because she was like, she don't like seeing him with no other women. And I'm like, you don't feel with me. Ain't show all the edits. You know, all the scenes, all the cut scenes. But for me, I just felt like, sheesh, like everybody's kind of locked in. Where are you gonna fit at this point? You know what I'm saying? Ashanti definitely had a lot of, I feel like, options, because she's so beautiful. You looked good, girl. You looked amazing on screen. Her outfits were beautiful. I think that if a person only needs to open up more, then that means that if you like her enough, you're willing to take the time, you know? So Nicole, when Ed went home, I thought that she was really set on Devon, but then when she found out all those other options, it was like, where do you go from there?
Yeah, and first off, Trav, I think that's a really great question. I feel that Nicole, as beautiful, of course, as she is, as intellectual, it is sometimes hard to pivot, and there was a whole lot of emotion that she had with her top connections. And not to say that the men are going to judge you, you know, for your emotions, but you have to make sure that you don't necessarily bring one, you know, connection and things that may happen with everybody, you know. And it almost seemed like, as to how she's depicted somewhat of letting Devon know when you're on this actual X date, you know, and saying, hey, well, I don't like to see you talk to anybody else. That may be the first time that kind of may have came up, or it could be something to where she could be reminding Devon to say, hey, you know, regardless of all of this going on, I don't like it, you know. And I say all of that to say that, you know, it's important with the show of realizing that, you know, you are in real time connecting with real people with real emotions. And to navigate this, you know, love is going to be a difficult conversation. So to meet the exes, you know, that has to, it may be awkward, like Vince says on one side, like, I know this is awkward for both of us, you know, and then, you know, Donna's like, well, not for me. But it has to also be awkward for the women as well, because they're like, okay, well, this is the competition. I thought I'm important to you. You know, one thing that Nicole did say is that she says that she felt that getting that gift from Devon, where it made her feel like she was the strongest connection. But then she's seen everybody else get gifts, and then it made her feel a certain type of way.
Right.
You know, so we got to kind of be careful with not only like our thoughts, but like how we're kind of proceeding and what we're doing, because when you are emotional, or if you are still emotionally charged from, let's say, another elimination, you know, you may have a situation where somebody that you're also connected to is eliminating you.
Now, coming off of Nicole, let's talk about Ashanti. It feels like she's running under the radar, and it doesn't feel like she have a real connection. Talk about that. That's what it feels like.
Well, no. So for me, I don't think that it was like she didn't have a real connection. I think that she's a slow roll. You know what I'm saying? In the aspect of, she need to make sure you a solid person before she opens up and let you into her real world, because maybe she's had a past where it's like, I understand, don't let these people play with you. You know what I'm saying? So I do feel like I seen and I felt like she had a connection with Steve. I felt like she had a connection with you, like a strong one, as to why I never pursued Cardi, like literally. I wouldn't be pursuing Cardi. I didn't entertain Cardi's pursuit. Let's be clear. But because of that, I do think that those were two strong connections. But when that conversation came with Cardi and he, in her opinion, didn't stand up for her the way that she would have hoped, I felt like, again, like how I did, we judge based off of the urgency or the situation, your level of consideration, you know. And for me, I kind of agree with her a little bit in a way. It was like, if I'm yours, it would have been like, hey, bro, chill out. Hey, come on. All right, I get what you're saying. No, that's my baby. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I would have been looking for that reciprocation. And since he didn't give that to her, it left it open for Steve. But shoot, Steve just said Lauren.
Right.
I don't know, but I do like Ashanti, and I'm really glad that she stayed.
Okay.
All right, my thing is, Ashanti is my dog.
Yeah,
you know,
my dog.
You know, she's a very dynamic person. I would say through the whole time, I never voted her on the bottom or anything. You know, so there was a lot of off-camera discussions and stuff that we had, and we definitely bonded and grew. So, you know, I seen her personality. You know, I grew to not only like it, but, you know, we were able to vibe. And it was good to see her in, let's say, these dates, to where you really got to see her smile. You got to see her open up. You got to see her, you know, like Bello, like Steve. You know, she showed up to, you know, our date, you know, great. But the thing is that we may have these expectations, and it's like, okay, well, I want these people doing certain things. And, you know, like you said, even though you could be gushing over somebody be like, oh, well, someone else still. And the thing is this, even in our date, there are going to be certain edits because when I talk, I stand up. That's why, like, you notice at the end, I'm standing up. Yeah. A lot of times through that date, I'm standing up. I'm talking with my hands. I'm coming with, you know, jokes or whatever, you know? And the thing is, if people are arguing, how can you really stop that? If, like, you know, we went inside and arguing ensued. It continued. Like, it was a pause. It was a rain break. Okay, we back inside? All right, we cutting up, you know? And the thing is this. Some of that stuff is necessary for it to happen, because even though, like, you know, this episode probably could have been just completely on our date, but it's good to see that when you do have positive energy and it's reciprocated of how you do, you know, well, you know, I think Ashanti was on like 5 dates. So it was really good to see her really just not only be herself, but, you know, to see those other good sides as well as, you know, the side of what happened.
Right. Now, I'll tell you what, let's just say this. Nicole, I want to wish Nicole good luck,
of course,
in her endeavors.
Absolutely.
You know, Ashanti, hey, you live to live another day.
Absolutely. Another date.
Yep, live another day. Live another day.
That's clever.
Now, let's get into the episode. The exercise for the episode tonight, which was introducing your past to your future. And of course, we're going to start with Cardi. We're going to start with Cardi and his dates.
Yes.
And, you know, Cardi brought Dominique,
Yep.
he brought Shannon, and he brought
Yep.
Ashanti.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, as I watched that, Cardi, you know, it seemed like he was just caught in the mess. And what were you thinking after everyone got there? I mean, I was feeling for you at some point.
Well, this is something that I want everybody to understand and know. Alcohol sponsored this episode. You know, there were numerous people who were drinking before. And if you notice, I didn't have time to have a drink. You know, I'm trying to assess everything. I'm always trying to like really trying to figure stuff out, because it's like, how did this really happen? You know? And Day has a very strong personality, you know, with her being my first love. And it's funny because Christian in the Shadow Gallery, he was like, oh, Day, and it's like, you know, and I know, like, I said, oh, you got prescription in those glasses? She's like, no. And then she tilted them down. She's like, but I can see through the bullshit. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah, she's coming with it. But she asked, it wasn't just that energy just for Ashante. She asked Dominique, like, okay, cool, but are you high maintenance? You know, and then she asked Shannon, like, well, are you seem kind of reserved. Are you just reserved? So it wasn't just a bias. You know, I think things just got taken a little bit out of hand based off of not only just context, but just like asking certain questions, because just like Ashante is going to be like, hey, this is pretty much what it is. Because Ashante is not really shy to, you know, she's going to let you know her opinion. She going to stand on her opinion, you know, and Day is pretty much the same way. And sometimes, I'm not sure if y'all ever met y'all best friend before, and it's like, I don't like this person, you know, but a lot of times they could have or mirror certain like things that we have. But to put everything in context, it was a little bit overwhelming because I've never, you know, number one, dated 10 women at the same time. Nevertheless, had 3 meet an ex. And I would challenge anybody to try to do it. And you know, see if drama doesn't happen.
Now, I wanted to just kind of hit on the dog comment. You know, now, was that par for your ex to make the dog comment? Was that normal for her?
Well, she didn't make it. Ashante made it. But Ashante, okay. What?
Well, I mean, her response and how she evaluated.
What Dave was bringing out though too was just to say, like, is there any sexual chemistry there? Because he's going to require that if that's what y'all are going to do. So when she's saying, well, yeah, but it's deeper than that. You know, I want to talk about different things, and sex is going to come. But what Dave was really getting into is saying, okay, well, Dominique greeted him this way. You know, do you have that same type of energy for him, or is that just your dog? You know, and the thing is, you can definitely be both. You can have great friendship, and you can have great chemistry. You know, you can have both of those. But what Dave was really looking for was just like, if you his number one, how can somebody else come and really kind of assert herself to say, no, this is him.
Yeah.
So I see that's where I like, there's a point where I'm like, listen, I see where both of y'all are saying, but really at that point it's like, are you taking sides? Are you not? And it's like, listen, like, the goal of this is for the ex to pretty much give their actual 2 cents on stuff. And what wasn't shown was that ended up cutting out. I said, they're like, well, Cardi, how do you feel? And I'm saying, well, at the end of the day has to end. You know, so based off, Ashante may not have been in her best light, but at the end of the day, I'm going to rock forward with her to get to know her better, because exes are exes, you know?
Okay.
So, you know, and it's an example of what you, not only what you've had, but what you want to go towards in the future in terms of not necessarily repeating.
Let me ask you this. With what your ex said, does it carry any weight in your evaluation of the women?
I think it definitely does.
Okay.
Because the thing is this, she was very honest and very candid. And when you have someone like your first love that knows you, that understands you, you know, if you've been through heartbreak with them, you know, however many times, if you have grown with them, and if you truly have a good friendship with them to where you're not, you know, you're not mixing and matching, and you're showing that same support for them and their family, then it's just like, well, Cardi, like, this is something that I know. And that one thing I can really say for her is that she was clocking everything.
Okay.
You know, so as you watch it, like, she's just clocking everything. I think it's just, it kind of came on a little too strong.
Okay. Christina, what was your opinion of Cardi's situation and his date?
I'm like, finally, let's put someone else in the hot seat, because it's time. I also think that, like you said, I think that Day was asking the very hard questions. And like you said again, she wasn't asking it just to Ashante. She's also asking it to also Dominique and Shannon as well, in the respect of how they presented their answers.
Yes.
So with that reality, I think that she took her comment a little bit too literal, and when she did, it required more explanation. That maybe, you know, Ashante wasn't able to give her in a way that pleased her. You know, so like, if I'm like, that's my dog, I probably would have been like, yeah, that's my dog, but you know, I mean, I like a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have to do too much in order to like emphasize that I am interested. if someone's questioning me. Now, I do think that they might have gotten a little bit too disrespectful, because if I was on there, I feel like, girl, what? Girl, what? Well, you better play with your mama. She got more patience for you.
You know what? Listen, man, Christine, I love your energy. So I gotta ask this. Now, if you were still on the show, who would you would have brought to your date, and what ex would you would have brought to meet them?
Oh Lord, you know what? I love it. Dang, you know, people don't, I mean, how do you want me to phrase this? Because people say when I talk about my normal experiences, it's name dropping, and I'd be like, do you want me to? Do you just? Like, how do you want me to present this?
Let's start with the guys. Which guys would you would have brought to the date?
So I would have brought one of my exes.
No, I mean, which cast members? What cast members would you would have brought to the date?
Which cast members?
Okay.
Knowing what you know of
what I know right now.
The Bello situation, okay, of him, because it would get around with him kissing and stuff like that. And not to say that's a problem.
Okay, listen,
right?
He's trying to emphasize Bella like that was even an option after the fact that. Okay, so let me clarify. Thank you for wanting more clarity. Okay.
Thank you.
So at the point where Bello had me talk to him, and again, where they did not clarify in the edits that the only reason why I was speaking to him is because we were finishing off on the last conversation in the text. Because on the phone, he told me, hey, I'm going to do this for you. When I hit him up the next day, hey, good morning, I hope your day's going well. Did you want me to go ahead and book the massage in the morning? He did not. He says, oh, my day's going great, and did not respond to the massage text. Like, bro, do you need me to remind you of your word? That was crazy. But here's the thing. Bello definitely showed his character when he handled it, because he did. But at the same token, I think that in the whole ordeal of it, just identifying how easy it was for Devon to just offer as to why I even mentioned it to the other guys, it made me realize, if this was a real life situation and I was yours, you would make me remind you of you wanting to solve my problem.
Okay.
I don't like it there, so I would not have invited him. Our conversation was to let you know, like, listen, we had three situations, and they didn't hit the mark.
What's 3 guys would you?
That's right. I was like, I'm like,
no,
yeah.
She asked about Bello.
Okay.
So Bello was not an option.
So Bello's out. So Bello's out.
Yeah, but I respect Bello highly. He's a great guy, but I just think that he was sold on a different woman.
Sorry,
and I don't. I'm not sorry. You know, if you're not sorry with who you chose,
I'm not sorry.
then I'm not. Because here's the thing. If you chose a different woman, and baby, you're just not mine, and that's okay, because God has someone else better for me. I mean, better for me. I wouldn't say he's better than you. Probably will be. Because I just feel like my husband's going to be the king.
Curdy, people catching bullets trying to get her. Get her guys on the date.
I know. Let me make them edits. All right, so
Which 3?
I would bring Cardi because I felt like after seeing everything and understanding that, oh, dang, Ashante, Cardi wasn't the only man you were talking to, I should not have excluded him from someone to be interested in. So I would have invited Cardi. I would have definitely invited Devon. That would probably be my number 1 invite. I think y'all know that.
I was going to ask that.
Devon would have been number 1. Cardi would have been number 2. Chris would have been questionable, so I don't know. I think I would have tried Steve. I think at the point where
that would have been more of a vibe of seeing you and him.
Yeah, because we had a lot in common. I like that he was a teacher. He was impacting the next generation. We could have created. There was a lot of different opportunities.
Together on camera. Steve just has that blend of stuff. Yeah, because he kind of sits back, and then his glasses is good. You know what I'm saying? He's paying attention, so it would have been good.
I mean, I don't know. You know, when you got 2 very, very creative folks, it could either work really good or really bad.
Yeah, really creative.
Okay.
You would have to find creative ways to make it work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, can you think of an ex that you would have thought? I mean, you don't have to say his name, but you got an ex in mind you would have brought?
Of course.
Okay.
I mean, like anyone who's not trying to claim me out loud is only because you know everybody already know who I am. Stop playing.
With that ex in mind, you don't have to say who it is. Which one of them 3 guys you think he would have approved? That ex you got in mind.
Okay, so the first ex, Oh, you only get one X.
Yeah, one X. One X.
Nina, like, I'm trying to bring everybody.
I know.
Everybody lined
one's
up.
One's a logistic coordinator. You know, he's I ain't gonna tell you who he did it for, but he was a logistic coordinator.
Okay.
So what I will say is he would have been like diving into the details.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Another one, he is very, very particular about words because one word can build a whole song. And for me, he would have looked at the conversations that they were saying to me, how detailed I am with my words, right? I take your word, like how she did. They took that word, how you referenced him and how it was expressed in that energy as literal, because words are very powerful. So they would have been looking at you like every word better make sense, baby.
Let me chime in real quick. If, for instance, you went on that actual date, okay, and let's say everything was theoretical and you invited me, you invited Steve, and you invited Divine, and Divine looked at you and was like, oh, Ina, that's my dog. Would you have taken offense to that, or would you feel like, yeah, I am his dog?
Okay. I think that Ashanti and I are different. I think that every man who
I agree.
to pursue me,
I agree.
yeah, definitely.
Two different ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, because
but that's why I'm asking, what would you feel?
I just wanted to say that first.
And if it happened multiply, if everybody was like, that's the homie.
Oh, number one, if everybody called me the homie, I'll accept it, and I would understand it. None of you are my man.
Oh, okay, so that would be a career-defining or a relationship-defining word based off of just your situation.
Well, here's the thing.
Who you are.
Here's the thing.
Compared to her.
Here's the thing. No, what I was saying compared to her. Here's the thing. Compared to her, I understand that I leave with everybody need to be my friend. Mm-hmm. But if at the point where my ex is coming to you as a man, asking you how you see me, and if after you say that's my dog, you ain't say but that's also my baby too. You're not emphasizing your role in my world, you know. So for me, I got where Dave was coming from. She's like, what? I just saw a whole seasoned woman to say that's my baby, or you know what I'm saying, reference you in an endearment term. Dog is not even that's my man or that's my friend. A dog is like, if your slang is like my homie, but if it's not, if you're very little, it's like rough.
It could literally be taken offensive in some stuff. So I see what you're saying. So it's almost like we have to look at both sides of the particular coin. But also one thing that we could take out and what we can glean from this episode is that Ashanti also wasn't big on PDA. So that public display of affection may also be like, because the same way of like how you said, well, maybe he also could have said, well, that's my baby too. There was no clarification that Ashanti gave, but Ashanti almost was really like, why am I explaining it to you, you know? Like, he knows what it is, so if he knows what it is, I'm not going to talk about everything. But I think that PDA component and that coming in later helps everybody understand, like, you know, it's going to come natural based off of a slow burn. Yeah. It's not going to be something that I'm going to do to adjust because of peer pressure. It's not going to be something that I'm going to do because the cameras are on. But knowing that PDA is not like a component of where she could vibe with Bello, I thought was, wow, that was something that not only that we didn't talk about, but like to just see it unfold to where it's like, this is how that scenario could go left. But in a nutshell, based off the answer, it's nothing that you would tolerate, but you know, being a girl's girl, it's okay.
No. So, like, when I say that me and Ashanti are different, it's because, like, for me, when the person would say my dog, and I say that I would want them to emphasize their
the love still.
Yeah, the love still.
The affection of everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I also think, like, Ashanti is like you said, a slow burner. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I do like the fact that she's like, girl, I ain't gotta prove nothing to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like for me, I'm the type, y'all all know I talk so much because I like clarity. So at the point where I want to emphasize it, listen, because you know this, if it was me and I was at Devon, because at the point where I chose Devon, I'd have been up in there like, that's cute, y'all. Y'all like him. Because you know when you understand where you at, where you feel like you're comfortable and that person. Hold on, let me say this. No, because I don't like. Because listen, he also one time we were on the phone. Do you remember this? Listen. Let's check this out. He and I was on the phone. This was before the massage and all that, right? With Devon and all that. He asked me. This was a random conversation because he and I really didn't talk about like the few times we did. Mm-hmm. We got on the phone one time. He asked me. He said, "Hey, Ina, how do you feel about PDA?" I said, "Oh my God! Like with who? Like I don't even see nobody I want to swap saliva with." Ew. Like, y'all know how many germs come from saliva. Y'all better be cautious.
I'll tell you what. You know what? Let's go here. Let's take the logistic coordinator. Who do you think he would have picked for you?
Oh, he would have picked Devon.
He would have picked Devon?
He would have picked Devon.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because the logistic coordinator was a great ex of mine. I think that some men fall to the, cave into their weaknesses sometimes when it comes to temptation or just poor habits as you're elevating in your manhood. You know what I'm saying? And who you were when I dated you may not be who you are now, but it also is a cycle or a journey I was over, so... We gotta let somebody else find that out.
Okay.
But it would definitely have been Devon, because Devon, he would have identified was considerate. I think Devon, if I was on there, would acknowledge me in endearment. I honestly even think that if I was, if it was me on that couch, he would have called her boo in confessionals, but not to my face. In confessionals, she would have got, that's my boo. But you wouldn't have got that while I was sitting there. You just wouldn't have. I just doubt that 1,000%.
Okay, sounds good.
You're very respectful. And at the point where you put your money where your mouth was, you care.
Okay.
You care where you invested your money.
Okay, sounds good. Let's move on to the next date. We're going to go with Bello and Tara. He brought Dominique.
Well, let me say something.
He brought Shanti. Did he bring in? No, that was it, right?
And Shannon. Let me just say this: all of the exes were beautiful.
They were. I agree.
I was like, where'd y'all get these?
Yeah.
Where'd they come from?
I didn't see any of them and go, you know what? Hey, what was he thinking? I didn't say that.
A few of them, I was like, what were they thinking? How did that happen?
I never thought that, because you're quick to do that on these reality shows, I'll tell you what, my questions on this date, it says, is Dom and Bello, is it a done deal? You think it's a done deal for them far as, are they a couple? Is it sealed with them?
I think that, like, just seeing how their romance is actually unfolding on the show is great. I mean, it's definitely beautiful. I like how the pivot when Bello walked her out, and then when he said, oh, well, I'm not really big with PDA, and then Ashanti was like, oh yeah, me either. And then as he walked her out, he's like, okay, well, we're too close not to kiss. I'm like, chess. I mean, it was I think great in terms of like how it's executed, but it looked great. And chemistry like that, you can't really just make up. You're not just doing it. There's a genuine attraction that is actually happening. So as far as like a done deal, I would say that it really, I think, is definitely starting to get to a point to where you can see that they are, could be like a particular item. But it's hard as you're going through this journey to where you still have to kind of weigh your particular options, because you can be on the chopping block.
Right.
So it's like, let me make sure that I'm giving certain time, certain energy, certain effort, but all the while, you're making certain commitments based off of your actions.
Okay. Christina? Is it a done deal?
What?
Is it a done deal? Dom and Bello? Is that a done deal? Are they a couple?
Only because I don't like PDA. I started kissing and was like, okay.
Hold on. You said that you don't hold on. Are you saying that you don't personally like PDA, or you don't like seeing PDA from other people?
Okay, you know what? Let me just redirect this conversation.
Okay, Nicole,
Nicole. How did I get Nicole?
Remember when Nicole, hold on, let me say, she says, Nicole said right at that date, she was like, I hate it when you talk to any other woman.
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay, cool. So,
That's not that.
okay, we got to clarify. We got to clarify.
What are we clarifying?
We got to clarify.
I want to know what you think.
Okay, the question of what I asked, I said, is it that you don't like PDA personally, or you don't like to see the PDA from other people?
Okay, so let me clarify.
Is it like get a room, or?
So, number one, I think that there's a respectful way to PDA. Okay? I think that if you want to be like out in public and there's no kids around and maybe it's an adult setting like a club, that's cool to PDA. If you're at a restaurant, it's like...
You can't PDA around the kids? How old?
Okay, all right, hold on. If you're married...
Okay.
I think it's always about setting examples, right? So for me...
And what type of PDA? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking about what type. I'm thinking about what type.
Holding hands, if you can tell me holding hands, I don't mean holding hands.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about holding hands. I mean like, so I said, when I think of PDA, I think you mean saliva swap.
But like kissing?
Yeah. not like holding hands. Holding hands is preferred. Arm in arm, hugs.
Kissing gotta be okay. It's what you doing after the kissing though.
I think that like quick kiss is cool.
Okay.
You know, quick kissing is cool, but like you like in a moment, get in the car. You know, get a room. Yeah. But I think that for me, I could not see myself really on national television just being so I want to say like you had already secured my emotional or my heart.
I agree.
And so the only person who probably would have been able to get any type of PDA from me would have been Devon. You know what I'm saying? Because out of all the men, he stood up, he stood out, and he definitely not only addressed my consideration concerns, but we were talking constantly, and it wasn't just like conversation about trying to get to know each other. It was like, damn, this is a good conversation. We just talking about life, information. I love an intelligent man. Teach me something. Come on, I love to learn.
I think PDA is in the person. You know, I mean, I think you got to be that person. You know, and then like you said, I think that once you're in a relationship, it's perfectly fine.
Because then you feel
but on
comfortable.
but on the show, no, not on the show. But once you're in a relationship and once it's established that I'm yours and you're mine, PDA is perfectly fine.
I think that absolutely, because now it's identifying I feel safe here. You know, like for me, it's hard for you to catch me PDAing because I don't know where you going after you leave.
Right.
Half y'all got a whole bunch of different lives and a whole bunch of like immoral characters that nobody checks because either you got a whole lot of money or nobody know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I feel like I'm such a creator. I don't need your lies. I'll just create my own stories.
Well, check this out. PDA, public displays of affection. You guys go to the comments and let us know, what you think about PDA, whether while dating or in a relationship. And we'll be interested to hear what you guys think.
Absolutely. So. And for clarity, when I thought PDA, I'm thinking of saliva swap. No one other than potentially Devon could have had that. However, I'm all for holding hands, hugs, hold my waist if I like you like that.
Okay. One other comment or question on this date. Do you guys think that Dom is developing a reputation for being high maintenance, and is it fair?
I think that the question that Dave posed to Dom was very honest and very upfront, because you'll look at Dom and you know that, and you'll see that she's not only very well put together, but she's very classy, very seasoned. And anything that you ask her, she's going to be pretty straightforward with to give it to you, And what I mean by that is that it doesn't matter what you're talking about, when you're talking about it, how much she had to drink, how much she didn't have to drink, who she out with, she go be real. And that's one thing that I definitely appreciate from her, is because you go get that real constantly.
Yeah.
And so what her response was like, I'm only going to ask for somebody of something that I do for myself. And as you see, time and time again, she's showing up and she's showing out. And she's going to do it for herself. So it was good, I think, of not only hearing that question asked, because I think it's one thing if a man was to ask that question or to wonder that question, but for, within the experiment of an ex coming through of just asking like, well, what is this? And to hear that authentic response, if it wasn't, then you'd be like, well, that sounds kind of weird. If she's like, I got to get back to you in like 5 to 7 business days, talk to me on another day. I'm not trying to talk about it. I got my Birkin right here, but like it don't got siblings, you know what I'm saying? But she really is authentically who she is. And that response was great, but it does help to have your stuff together when talking to Dom.
And the reason why I asked, was it unfair? Because it felt like Christina was getting the same label and they were coming for her for the same thing, and they weren't as nice to Christina, and Dom is still there. So that's why I asked that question.
Yeah.
So how do you feel? Because it feel like do you feel like Dominique is getting labeled for the same thing that they took you off the show for, or you got voted off the show for?
So for me, I think that we all are really moving in a way that we normally would. Me getting a massage is normal. Like, I live in the Philippines half my year. What are y'all talking about? I go downstairs and get massages often. So like when I am speaking about my life and the things that again, I was just talking about, my sore body, and he offered it. But I think that it got taken out of context because people aren't used to that. I think that when Dominique is talking about, the lovely things that she do on her normal days, or, her normal expectations, because there's things that she could do for herself, like the things that I could do for myself. Like, Devon didn't have to buy my massage. I could have got it myself. You know what I'm saying? And at the fact where if he ever needed a massage, I'm very trained. I could give it to him myself. So with all of that being said, I'm only trained because I'm Asian. In the Philippines, you just learn some great things. But with all that being said, I think that the goal was for the drama and the way to excite your perspectives. And it's really showing how many folks have very limited experiences as to why you want us to live in such a lowly standard life. Like, bro, your values got to go up higher. And if you think you're judging me, you might need to be inspired by me. If you think you're judging Dominique, you might be inspired by Dominique. Because at the point where we don't lose, any loss is never a loss. It's always a lesson, not always to us, but sometimes to other people. When I got eliminated, I didn't feel like I lost. I feel like, thank God, I did not end up with somebody who was not for me.
Right.
I'm not sitting here on national television while all these niggas is playing in my face. I'm working on the word. While all these men are playing in my face, you know what I'm saying, and having to take it. While Oprah and Will Packard is paying for all the dates and all they're giving you is these words, sweet nothings in your ear. All of that lines up to show me something.
Right.
I want to chime in on one thing. One thing that Ina said that was great was that you really have to get to know the person. So with Dom, you're getting this snapshot, but when you get to know her, when you get to know Ina, you really get to see the full perspective of everything. And even though, that this is on the OWN network, we made this happen. We provided the talent. All 20, so it's like, I will forever be grateful based off the opportunity. But when you sit back and it's like, hey, like, we did that, and that's something that's really powerful, because it's like, you can leave, you can show up, and you can continue to tell your story with more of an actual, I'm not going to say accuracy, but with just more thorough insight of what, we learned about,
Okay.
Let me say one more thing. Let me just clarify this. I do not think that OWN has depicted her in such a negative light. I think they make her look graceful. I think she does a good job of making herself look graceful, because, like, in that situation where Nicole was like, nobody should, I get so mad, or whatever the case.
That's how she generally felt, though.
But no, and there's nothing wrong with that. But Dominique was graceful in a way that she just, and she took it and she shrugged it off, versus me, I'm like, oh, yeah. Let me finish hearing this.
That was a confrontation in that type of way. She
Right.
had a different way of actually approaching something that's going to make you, not only, I feel like, addressing the issue, but it's like also resolving it.
Yeah, so it's good.
She's talking to the problem and providing the solution.
Okay.
And sometimes when you are embattled in, let's say, thoughts or emotions, you need a perspective that's like, you know what, maybe I am tripping. We need to get some shots. We need to do something, to kind of take the edge off. Because what I want to remind everybody is that there is a lot of emotion happening. Like Nicole was going through a lot of different things at this time and in this moment. We're filming all day. You on multiple dates, and mind you, she did look amazing. I think that first outfit that she had was fire. The shawl, she looked like, I don't know where you got that from, Nicole, but A1. But let's lean into the positive as well as criticizing things, and I think you did your thing.
Yeah.
We want to know what you guys think. Jump in the comments, and we want to know if you think that the way Dominique is being painted, is it any different from the way Christina was being painted? So let us know what you guys think. We're going to move on to Darius and his ex, Ashley, and his date was Ashley, Nicole, and
Square. Yeah.
So what did you guys think about that date?
Oh, so I actually liked it. I like that. I think that that's the type of energy that someone who is interested in trying to make their, value in you known. He came bearing gifts. It could have been roses. It could have been a freaking cupcake. You know what I'm saying? It was just a thoughtful gesture. That's what a gift is.
What did you think about him giving her the fox?
I thought that, okay, it's gonna be a fur family.
Thumbs up.
They had legs and a head. Like my fur, my diamond mink, it don't have a head. It just has the fur. So you kind of forget where it came from a bit. But to remind yourself, Shit, I thought I was gonna bite me. That's a lot of energy going there. But I love the fact that she's open to it. She's down for it, and it made it feel like, oh, that might be your baby. That might be your boo. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I liked it, and I also liked Ashley, the other Ashley. She was gorgeous. She was gorgeous. Like, girl, that's easy before in LA and Miami. I don't know. Beautiful. And I think that she was graceful. Gave all the ladies the opportunity to really show themselves without like how Day was trying to like, let me dig down deep in your soul and see how you really feel.
Yeah.
Cardi, you giving out foxes to your first choice?
It's funny because I did come bearing gifts. That kind of got cut out, but I did get gifts, and I was really interested to see how these gifts would be perceived, because Shannon's gift was just like, her eyes was like, oh my goodness. So I really wish that would have got.
Asante loved her gift.
Oh yeah, well, Asante and then Dom both got similar gifts,
Yeah.
and the thing was that I had to mail it to order. Both of them like to cook, so they were custom like cooking boards
with their names engraved.
Yeah,
I heard about it.
with their names engraved. Yeah, and it was cool. Dom used hers, and then with Shannon, she's really into health, so I got her like a blender, and then she was like, "What is this?" And it was kind of funny. But going to Darius' date, I think that it was very thoughtful that he came bearing gifts. I thought that his ex, she was very tactful and she was very cool. I think the location was great. I think that the Fox was on par based off of the conversation from the first mixer, because how we said, okay, it's gonna have, I'm gonna have a wolf, and then this Fox is gonna have like the legs and everything.
He stood on business. He stood on business.
He stood on business, but also something else. Ashley has a business, and her name is Ash Fox.
Yo, yeah,
Ash Fox. So when you think about it,
that's her Instagram.
Right,
that's her Instagram name.
Yeah, but then her business name is Foxy Body. So to gift that, Darius,
Darius, you the man.
It's just at different things, and that's why for her, when it goes to, oh well, I get a kiss, like, oh, of course you do that at that moment, because it's playing not only into his ego, but it's playing also into her attributes that make her her.
Yes.
And that's the thing of like, I feel really talking to and communicating is that you're pouring into women. Like how Bello, how he talked with Dom about her flight closet, and then helping her pretty much doing that. So to anybody that's talking to anyone, pay attention to what women are saying, pay attention to their dreams, and pour into that, because if you're leveraging that, they're not gonna sleep at night. They're gonna think about you.
Now I asked. I'm gonna ask this about them two, as I did about Dom and Bello. Is it a done deal with Ashley and Darius? Is it a done deal?
Well, I think that they have great chemistry on camera, but I think there's going to be further developments. And what I'm saying is that there's going to be different emotions for the other guys, as what's happening now with even Ashanti. Because Ashanti on this, it seems like, okay, well, she's flying under the radar. Right. I've always talked about her like, yo, she's cool. But when you have more of this one-on-one time, and you have a little bit of time on these group dates, and you're getting a perspective from an ex, they're like, well, I kind of like her, and I kind of like her, I kind of like this. And then when they're saying, well, I don't like, it's closing other people off, as they say, when one door closes, the other door is open, right?
Right.
So yeah, I think that we will see other emotions continue to develop, and I still think people will shoot shots.
Okay, one more question on this date. Darius' ex told Nicole, or he told Darius, or she told Darius that she didn't think Nicole was his speed. Agreed?
Okay, well, you're saying Darius' ex told that Nicole wouldn't be Darius' speed.
Right.
Well, I just think some of that is based off of how Nicole responded to things, because Darius' ex, their particular relationship is based off of somebody, and how she said that can kind of come in and can kind of command the room and can kind of pretty much feed into his ego. Nicole can do that, but Nicole also would like the reassurance of liking him, or her man liking her, no matter what the case is. So it's like, hey, even if I'm not at my best, can you show me off? And sometimes it may seem like with exes saying certain things that, oh girl, you got to be at a certain standard. You got to be able to show up to where other people are looking at you, and they're going to feel a certain way because you're going to dress like your man is dressed, and you're going to do that. So I think she made not only like second guess based off the role, but Nicole wants to be able to be herself and be appreciated for being herself. So I think that it may come off as insecurity to some, but I think it comes off as security for others, because she knows what she wants, but she also knows how she wants to be appreciated. And that can kind of seem a certain way if it's like, well, are you scared? You know what I'm saying? Are you not are able to do it? And the ex may look at others that are, okay, well, they may be more suited of getting a fox because they're going to wear that fox. You know, they may be more suited of being out and about and replacing the role, because, I mean, it's a tall order for the ex, because you're really looking at a person that's replacing you.
Right.
You know,
right.
and to put emotions aside to do that, like, I'm thinking it's hard as a male to have the ex and coming through, but as for the women, it's a different type of situation, because you not only have competition that's there, but that ex is like, well, I'm giving you advice, and, you know, I done built him up for all of this, and now this is happening, you know? So it's interesting.
Shout out to Darius for paying attention to his woman, man. Fellas, you need to do more paying attention to your woman, man. Let's move on to the next couple. Vince, his ex Ebony, and
oh wait, I wanted to say something about Nicole.
Okay, go ahead.
So with Nicole, I don't think I think that Ashley was saying that Nicole wasn't his speed, because I think that his lifestyle requires a lot of interaction with women.
Right.
As a movie star or an actor, or even just owning a business for luxury vehicles, all the different aspects of that, you're always going to entertain or interact with beautiful women, or just women in general. And as she said with Devon, you know, I don't like you looking at anybody, you know, but to also similarly say that in regards to Darius, or maybe even just giving that reference for understanding that that's how you
order.
Yeah, that's your perspective. I think that it limits the level of ability to trust.
Okay.
If you're not put into the hard situations, you know, or the temptation situations where your person is able to show that they can withstand those temptations, then how can you ever really trust them?
Okay.
But it's also, though, realizing, though, too, your limitations and your particular boundaries. Yeah. So certain conversations cannot be taken almost as like warnings to say, well, and you can definitely see that Nicole is very much self-aware of her limit, because to be around women and being like, I don't like you talking to anybody else, and it just shows that, hey, I'm locked in, and this is pretty much what it is. But the reality, like even Dom is saying, like, we're sitting right here, like we're in a not simulation, but an experience that this is happening in real time, you know. And as these feelings are developing, it's very important to be cognizant of what we're thinking about, and if this person that we're pursuing or talking to or entertaining can really provide us with what we need of taking us to a place of security.
Okay. Sounds good. We're going to move on to Vince and his ex, Ebony. He brought Donna, Nicole, and Ashanti. My question on this date is Vince, do you guys think Vince is aggressive and argumentative?
Well, I'm just going to say this. If y'all looked on to that episode where they made a lot of, I'd say, specific perspective edits, you got to understand that I don't just go jabbing at anyone. I respond, maybe not always in the best way, but I always respond to seek clarity. But in that moment, after I sought out clarity, he gave me a whole bunch of sass. You know, I'm like, oh my God, you are sassy. That's why we out here arguing like girls. That's why you out here calling the girls the B word. It was very sassy, you know what I'm saying? So it made me for a moment slip into sassiness with him. But no, it wasn't just me. It wasn't just that time. You know, to be so careless in your words over here in the men's chat, and then to come talking to me like you want to judge me. No, boy, you are a debative and argumentative man. And maybe everyone don't have that experience with you, and it could just be because you might surround yourself with people who admire you or find, you know, a different compatibility with you. They might seek out different needs from him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I need nothing from him. And
you did get a glimpse of what Vince is capable of in that clip that they played during the Motown.
Sure did.
The conversation you
That's
guys.
what I'm referring to.
So
it was very aggressive. So for me, for me to give you that moment so that you can express yourself, what happened there, and then when it came to me offering my what happened on my end so we can have a level playing field of understanding, he literally sat there and tried to judge me like you had all the understanding in the world. Boy, you about to run around ignorant in this world. If you're gonna run like these comments, taking a 2-minute moment and then running it into the ground, that's insane. I mean, but then again, you know, great entertainment loves attention. I mean, or gets a lot of attention.
Now, what I can definitely agree is that great entertainment does get a lot of attention.
Sure.
I think that Vince does like to debate, and he will not turn down a debate. It doesn't matter who you are. I can see him arguing with anybody, whether he's related to you, whether he's not, and he's going to stand on. Yeah, he's going to stand on business with that. But one thing I can say really with this is that we do have to consider that anytime alcohol is involved, you're going to see a different version. Yeah, you're going to see a different version of people, and I have seen Vince in another light to where he's not that as bad of a guy, you know.
Okay. I don't think
now, would I have certain arguments with choice words? Probably not, you know. But it's just it goes to your actual character of what you're standing up for and what you're talking about. And with all of these edits, we really can't get to the bottom of things. But all I can say is that his ex is going to know and have a particular perspective that she is displaying and saying, hey, hence we're arguing right now. I thought that it was very interesting that Donna was like, well, yeah, y'all are arguing, but you got to say the last word, you know? So you can really see, I feel that anybody, well, not only is she ready to jump in, but you can see that feelings are really starting to develop to where it's almost like, well, you know, my man, you know? Because if there's conversations and stuff that are having, of course, with your ex, if you're not with them, you know, they're still going to have clear as day, because a woman's going to be like, okay, well, this happens. He's always late on Thursday, you know.
They know him.
And then when you have the fascination of really getting to know, that allure can be stronger.
Okay.
So I guess I say all of that to say that, like, all of this is actually happening on this date, and she was able to jump in maybe in the way that people may have wanted to see me jump in of Ashanti that may have got edited, you know, to where it's like, well, the ex is wrong at the end of the day, you know.
Let me ask you this. About Vince and him being argumentative and aggressive. Would you hang out with Vince? Would you invite him to your wedding? I mean, it's just general. In general,
this is the thing. Vince is, and this is odd and a weird thing, but he's left-handed. I'm left-handed.
Okay.
So I know if my mind is on something, my mind, you can't talk me out of it. So when I realized that with him, I'm like, oh, okay, because you know exactly what you're dealing with, you know,
right?
Because it's weird. It's hard to like explain it, but you know, like if his mind is set on something, whether it's right or whether it's wrong, he's going to go full throttle with it. And I think it's understanding each other's perspective to know. As far as inviting to a wedding, I mean, there's a lot of people that ain't gonna get the wedding invite, but that's just based off of what it is, you know.
Would you just generally hang out with him? Okay.
I would kick it with him, and I have kicked it with him. But it's just like, I think as you really get to know him better, it's just like, okay, it makes more sense, because you'll start to get more positive experiences than the negative experience to really pull your stuff around. Okay. But I would encourage everybody on this cast, no matter the background, you really have to get more of a data pool than what you're seeing. Okay. You know?
Okay. And let me say this. So let me just clarify. I answer to the fact that I do agree that he's argumentative and say it with my chest. However, I do think that he could be a good person. I don't think that he's like a malice person and intends to harm people or hurt people with his words. I think that sometimes the way that he expresses himself, it can come off offensive and in a way that it's not expressing what the solution is. You're so busy emphasizing a problem. One more thing. Yep. And with Donna, I like Donna. They had her looking freaking gorgeous. Oh my God, that green. She was beautiful in that green. And they had another shot of her that was just like drop dead. And I'm like, oh my God, beautiful. Because they was playing her in a few of these shots, but she's a beautiful woman.
Yeah, she was catching heat in the group, in the Facebook group, man. So shout out to Donna.
But let me just say that I'm gonna give it to you in just a second. But with Donna, I just want to say I felt like in that scene where she was defending him, you could tell that she liked him a lot. Right. You can tell that when you like someone, you're willing to stand up for them even when they're wrong. Because at the point where the lady just was asked the question, and I do get when someone is trying to paint you in a wrong picture, you want to try to defend yourself. I think that the best response would have been like, And that's why we're exes, because that's her perspective, so I do like Donna. I like how she was standing up for her guy, but I also think that could be a bad thing too, because you never know what you're willing to be blind for.
Okay.
Or blind to.
I like how you put that. One thing that I would say, this was really the first time that I've seen, Donna was able to vibe and then match with Steve, but to have an opinion more so that leaned towards not only defending, but really like supporting Vince. But she, if we think about it, Donna also asked, because she wants to know the tea, and pointed questions of like, well, what's the worst thing that you've experienced with him?
Right.
And then Ebony said, oh, well, he likes to debate. So it showed and it proved in real time that maybe that same reason that could have separated them of being debating and maybe taking it over the top in any occasion was something that
she would be okay with.
That she would not only be okay with, but it was like, well, this is what he does, and it's like, this is what he's doing right now. So, and it's like, and how she ended it off was like, well, I've obviously probably experienced the worst of Vince, so now I can move forward. Did you guys peep that?
Yeah. I did. Yeah.
So what she's saying really in that moment, of what I'm taking of that interpretation, is that, well, if this is the worst, then we can definitely build on this, because the best is yet to come.
Well, let me wrap this date up with this question to both of you guys. Is being argumentative and being aggressive, is that a red flag for you guys in general?
Listen, it depends on, that's an amazing question. It depends on how, where the aggression coming from. Is that just passion because like you were just completely wronged and you don't know how to express yourself, so you're just like, no, hear me? Is that passion? Or are you just responding extremely poor because nobody ever taught you how to have emotional control, and you're just lashing out because these are like generational cycles that you ain't broke yet? Like it is like, because like, did you grow up where your mom was arguing with your daddy, and you were either influenced by it? Because I'd be inspired by stuff like that to do opposites. You know what I'm saying? Right. So for me, I think that dealing with a person that is argumentative, it limits your growth sometimes, in a way that it builds bitterness. It builds constant forgiveness, and at a point somebody gonna get tired of forgiving. Somebody told me one time, and I had to do this with my family, not all of my family, but a certain family member, but they say, would you rather be right, or would you rather have a relationship? And then I had to realize, I would rather have a relationship. But after so many times of willingly being wrong when you don't believe you're actually wrong just to have a relationship, it's like, dang, how many times do I have to be wrong just to have a relationship with you? How many times do I have to choose to be wrong? That's the part. I'm choosing to be wrong.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that if you get into a relationship with a spouse that is not willing to communicate with you in a way where solutions are found, and you're only just stressing the problem, then shoving it under the rug, and then coming back to another problem, and that's how you solve problems, by letting it die down and act like it didn't happen, you're going to be in a very ugly cycle that's going to end, and somebody's going to feel like the world is all over. But that's the world with that person. So argumentative people, depending on where it's derived from, if it's coming out with you're yelling at me and you're just yelling it hurt me, oh baby, bye.
Now, is that contingent on what else they got to offer?
Well, let me. Is that a contingent?
Yeah. Is accepting argumentative and debating, is accepting that contingent on what else they have to offer?
I think that's a great.
And
question.
An example would be, say if they made a lot of money. If they made a lot of money, like for you, if the guy made a lot of money and paid all your bills, are you okay with him being debating and argumentative? Is that, does that okay that?
So for me, I would way rather be happy.
Okay.
Than to be in a relationship where I am just counting my days. I'm so happy by myself. I'd be damned if I put a man with me who don't see my journey, my purpose, and my value. Because now I'm going to be begging for you to see it. I'm going to be begging for you to give me the consideration you should have shown me before I even gave my heart, baby. I am not begging for in this world, other than God's forgiveness sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Because we're all imperfect people, judge mama. But what I will say is, no.
Okay,
no.
Okay.
And to chime in of the initial question, and really Ina pointed out something to say, well, how many times do I have to forgive you? And I know it's Friday, but we can take it to church on Sunday. Jesus said, you know, you gotta forgive 77 times. And that parable was to say it has to be unlimited, but you also have to make sure that you are rightfully yoked with a person who can see what you're doing. So unless, now, as I make that point and I pivot over, I'm only arguing probably with intimate matters. Like, you want the lights on, you want the lights off. Other than that, I'm not arguing with people. That's just not my MO. If it brings that out of me, then it's not the best of me. So normally I'm gonna just sit, I'm gonna think, and I'm gonna kind of come back and we're gonna talk about things, you know, because that's how I feel stuff is gonna better operate. If a person knows your love language and knows to say, hey, he just needs time, or, you know, like she just needs time. I think that having money or having sex appeal or having these other things which can make it acceptable or in your mind of being, let's say,
Donna got accused for moving fast, talking about moving in 3 months. How did you guys feel about that date? And Donna comments. How did you guys feel about the date and Donna's comments?
Yeah.
Okay, so Donna, again, I like Donna. They put her in some good lights because that Diddy Pose one, they had her on there looking crazy. They definitely did. They did you both, girl. But what I will say is, I think Donna is in a space of ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's waited so long that now that I have the time, now that I'm in the right mindset, now that I feel like I've done the work, I'm ready. You know, so I think that, like how Nicole was like, oh, if I met somebody in this day, then I would marry them. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it sounds crazy because I've had different experiences. 3 weeks in, you find a whole nother man. After 3 months in, that's a whole nother man. After 3 years, that's a whole nother man. And after like about 10, you know, because here's the thing: if you're with a good man, he should always be elevating. You should always be finding new things that he's learning, growing from, and becoming, right? If you're with a bad man, you're still going to keep finding things because we're like plants. There's always elevation. Now, if this man is not intentional in his growth, he's going to grow in areas where his boys took him. He's going to grow in areas where them girls took him. He's going to grow in areas where the bars took him. He's going to grow in areas that was unintentional because that's what happens when you don't have intent on your time and your, you know, and your moves. So 3 months would have been the marker to decide if I'm about to commit to you and make you my man exclusively. Not for you to get up in my crib and up in my bed. That's like, you want to wake up to this man after 3 months?
Move in 3 months, right?
Yeah, so you want to wake up to this man every day after 3 months? Sounds like, bro, okay, well, give me the timeline. When did you meet his mama? When did you meet his family? You know, what type of history are y'all building? Are y'all talking every day, like how this was accelerated? That could be a thing, but 9 times out of 10, if you got any money, you got a job, and that's already like 8 hours of his day. The other 8 is spent sleeping. So the other 8 is spent what? Share with you, but then that means that, one, what type of time are you spending? Are you spending, oh my God, I'm in love. Oh my God, I love you. You know, this is what I'll tell y'all. This will probably be the best lesson y'all learn. This is what I call the fake love cycles. Fake cycle of love. It's the, oh my God, I like him. Oh my God, I like him. And then you get here, oh my God, I love him. Oh my God, I'm in love. Then you get here and it's a problem. Oh my God, it's a whole entire problem. And this is how you know if you're going to fall in love and get married or if you're going to fall into the unfortunate fate of destruction. Usually it goes, oh, we have a problem. Argue. The one that argues to find the solution, to find the compromise, to make sure each person's heard and feel validated to where there's no pride sitting left because now we dove in. That communication is valuable, you know? And you see the work behind the communication. Action has to meet the communication. So once you see that, that's like, dang, we can keep going because every time we have a problem, we're going to keep going to this and we're going to dive in, we're going to communicate, we're going to solve it, and then boom, another problem, you know? Because I think life is built with problems. Winners are the best solutions. But then you get the other one. Oh, we got a problem.
No. Did you say women are the best solution?
Winners.
Okay. I'm like, that's just speaking gospel right there. Winners are the best solution.
Yes, winners. So once you get to that problem, the opposite of that is once you get to the problem is to argue. I'm tired of arguing. Boom, brush it under the rug, let some time die down, and now you get back to life. regular. Then another problem comes, and you do the same thing because these are habits. This is how you solve your problem, right?
Right.
Eventually, that world is going to end, and then that world is going to be like, oh my God, I'm so sad because my world is over. But that's only that world with that person, right?
Right.
Because you was a whole person before that person, but some people forget that, right? And at the point where it goes, oh, I'm healed a little bit. Oh my God, I like him. Oh my God, I love him. Oh, I'm in love. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The false cycle of love. So you got to be able to know what you're in to avoid the traumas that have been built by the experiences that taught you those lessons.
Got it.
All right, I'm going to chime in. Now, first off, I want to say those are beautiful sentiments, Ina. I also want to quote you when Ina said, you know, sometimes you only need to know somebody 2 days and you can lick the neck. You know, but I say all of that to say that really when looking at Donna in the situation is that, and it was good of seeing what was the ex's name?
Hold on.
Sorry, I think it started with an A.
Amber.
Amber. Okay, cool. Now Amber, one thing I liked about, she just seemed really cool, really chill when it was even par with knowing Steve. Like Steve go be at home and everybody else is giddy, looking over at him and smiling. Donna, when it was like, well, what are you doing? She's like, I spend all day in the coffee shop. Right?
Coffee shop.
I spend 8 hours in the coffee shop, and I'm going to be ready to move in with somebody in 3 months. And then Amber's looking like, she's looking like, okay, cool. Like, is Steve getting all of this? You know what I'm saying? But she's picking up everything. And it was just really good to see her really in that calm kind of demeanor while everybody else is really throwing themselves at Steve. But really knowing that Donna, like you said, is in the state of ready. You know, she is assuming that based off the conversations that they're having with Steve to say, hey, you know, I would be perfectly fine with moving into your house and then we can move from that point.
Yeah.
But then looking at Steve, he's just like, oh, well, that's wild, I think. Yeah, he said wild, or he said that's crazy because for a guy, it's hard enough to get to know women and not even know that, let's say that you care about a woman. But then to share your space, you know, because at that point, it's just like, that ain't clean, that ain't right, you don't make these eggs right, you know, you want me to cook. What about this silverware? What about that, you know? You know, the seat is up, you know, and now you're hearing in your house that the seat is up. The seat always been up, you know? So I think you're really thinking about certain things, and we're already on this accelerated process, you know? So I think she was, you know, when you think now, like with her and these other dates, but she's really... You can see what Steve had built a particular relationship and a rapport to be as honest and as candid. Now, to go back on your other question, though, as well, is like there are certain things that could cause us to ignore stuff, but I think that the more that we really get in tune with ourselves and what we don't like Ina is saying, like, well, he's a good guy, but I'm in love, or you start to really diminish to say, I don't know if I really even vibe with this person anymore.
Right.
You know? Right. But nothing will help you know that. Like living with a person, or go out of town with somebody for 2 weeks, and then you'll know if that's your person.
Now that I hear you guys talk this out, do you guys think she was being funny?
Who, Donna?
Yeah.
I don't think she was being funny. I think she was being dead serious.
Okay,
but she's not having that. Because she's not having that same discussion.
Because we're talking it out like no way. You know, I mean, that's kind of, you know, we kind of like, wouldn't nobody do that? But, you know.
Well, I think that everybody isn't her.
Okay.
You know, and in that situation, she's like, he knows that, he knows what I do. You know, he's up to this. But when it really comes down to it, it's like, am I really ready to do this? Okay. You know, and that's what I think all men can kind of do, because it's like, okay, you know, you're going after the prize, things can be good. But when you take stuff to the next level, what does it look like? And then that expectation and maintaining it. Because a lot of times in relationships, if men, it's women that leave men.
Right.
It's not men that leave women.
Right.
Because it's like, well, okay, I moved in now, so you know what's next.
Right.
You know? And it seems like, you know, that she was really focused and intentional with that. It wasn't the same type of thing or the energy that she gave to Chris, or Opportunity, if you think about it, or Xavier. Like, if you notice that. So you can see that she's intentional, and it may not be something that we are all necessarily ready for, but we don't know all of the conversations that they had together, you know? So we really have to see what's going to happen, because Amber did, I think, decide that did like Donna. You know, I think that probably could be for more than one reason.
No, they like Lauren.
Oh yeah, they like Lauren. I'm sorry.
Right.
I stand corrected. So Lauren ended up winning out on that situation, and that's where it's kind of cool of having the ex of saying, well, you know what, all of this is cool and all. It's nice. We see what you're doing. You know, with Shantae, like, well, you're going out, but you know, maybe you'll be better suited there. You know,
While we on that, it feels like Steve and Lauren really don't have a connection. You guys agree?
That's what you feel.
You guys agree? Do you guys agree?
I'm bringing out.
It feels like they don't have a connection.
Hey, Big Trav is cooking today. He like, look, call it like it is. Well, do you think that that's based off of them not showing them too much together, to where that connection is not there?
Well, I'm not talking about them specifically. It seems like.
But just hear me out. Because would it seem like even that I had a connection with Ashante? And some of that could be linked to camera time. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, the more that you kind of see how their connection unfolds, because they haven't had that much camera time, I think, together.
No, it seemed like Steve hasn't had a lot of camera time at all.
Right. And I think that his character development of stuff is going to go hand in hand, but if you look at all of the women that were around her, Ashante was smiling. You know, you seen all 32. You know, Lauren, she's smiling. You know, Donna's smiling. The ex is just chill, and it's like it shows you that that's kind of the barometer of what's going on and really what to expect. And sometimes when we're comfortable, we talk about our dreams, we talk about our ambitions, and the whole time that ex know, like, yeah, that ain't about to go.
You know what I think? I think Ashanti and Steve would be a good match. What you guys think?
I think on camera they do look good together.
Christina, what do you think?
Well,
Steve and Ashanti.
Let me just say this one thing about Donna. I feel like Donna, she already had her heart set somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why I think she could care less if Steve liked her or not.
I think she likes Steve.
I mean, but even if she liked Steve, it wasn't sold. You know what I'm saying?
I think that she likes Steve. I'm being based off of it. My biggest point of what I'm proving and what I'm saying.
No, we can hear.
Yeah. She never gave Chris or Xavier that opportunity. It was never, hey, this is what you're not an emotional connection to me. And when it came to, she not only went on the date, you know, but she put her best foot forward. You see what she was wearing, these outfits and stuff. She came correct to where she was considering him, I feel, as a suitor, for sure.
So I even if she's considering him as a suitor, I just think she was sold on Vince. Like, nothing stank after that. Because after he called the girl to beware and she was excited to sit with him after, I was like, no, she's happy where she is, you know?
I agree.
So, yeah.
It felt like Donna sabotaged the Steve date because she got a connection with Vince.
And that's where I was at with it when it came to her saying that.
That's why I asked. That's why I asked. Do you think she was playing when she said about the 3 months thing? It seemed like she jokingly went through that date.
3 months or 3 weeks? It was 3 weeks.
No, it's I think 3 months.
3 months. I'm sorry, 3 months. It felt like she kind of half-assed the Steve date because she had a connection with Vince.
And so that's what I a bit received from it. It was like, let me go ahead and entertain this for a moment just to make sure there's nothing else there. Kind of in a way that I did with with Bello and Chris. I was like, let me just finish out whatever is left because I don't think this is it. I think I know where I'm going with this, you know? And I think that I feel like that might be where she wants to be, you know? And then when it came to Steve, I was actually surprised. I was very, very, very surprised that Steve connection was Lauren and not Ashante. I think Ashante for me was the better connection. I loved how giddy she got over him during that date they had. Here's the thing, even if they don't show it all the time, I think you can identify by how a person's body movements, interactions, and when they converse about them. So the way that, let's say, Donna conversed about Vince, she's in there. You know, Ashante conversed about Steve, she's in there. Bello, Dominique and Bello.
It also comes down to lifestyle, though, because if you are younger, if you are entertaining other ideas of having fun and doing stuff, especially as you become older as a man, and whether you're establishing your career, it's like, I'm at home, baby. You know, and it's like, we shouldn't, like, I'm not going to sell this to you. This is the aspect of what I'm doing. And if you're more so introverted or you just know these particular boundaries, it's like, this may be good, but is it sustainable?
Is it compatible?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, but to your point, though, I really feel that Donna was really putting it out there to say, hey, well, this is what I want to do. And almost like, let me put the ball in your court and playing the game because, hey, I may have something else that's over here, but it's like, who's going to step up to this plate? Because if anybody says, hey, we just not meeting, I'm moving in 3 months.
Okay, sounds good. Good.
It can be something that is a lot to take on, and may the best man win.
Okay, we're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna move on to Devon and his ex Kayla. He brought Nicole, Shannon, and Dom to his date. What do you guys think?
I feel that Devon's date, it's really great of seeing Devon develop his character and his ability of how he's talking not only to Kayla, but how he's talking to Nicole, how he's talking to his boo, Dom, and how he's talking. Who was the third one that was there? It was
Dom, Shannon, and Nicole.
Yeah, and then Shannon, and even Shannon, because all of the women are really talking not only a lot about Devon, but just saying of how he's showing up. He's bringing the gifts. He's making women feel secure. And he's really in his bag, and it looks like he has a good relationship with his ex as well. It was very interesting to see Nikki when she's like, I don't like you seeing anybody or talking to anybody. It's like, whoa, yeah, that makes good for TV. But I really feel that she was honest in that moment of just saying, hey, like, this is how this makes me feel. I think that it's going to be interesting to continue to see his particular journey, because it's not like it looks like he's not rushing things and stuff now and kind of falling into certain stuff. He's letting everything come to him. Okay. So I think that the date location looked really cool. I think that the responses of everything, it looked like everybody had a good time.
Okay.
Except Nicole.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, I think that, the aesthetics, very beautiful. Everyone looked very beautiful. Devon looked handsome. I honestly think that Devon at this stage is feeling quite confident. You got, you're in a room surrounded by all these beautiful women, and I just feel like having such a beautiful ex to be in front of all these other beautiful women, it sets a standard where it's like, y'all kind of been had, And I just love that for him, because honestly, I think that the thing that stood out most for Devon as he's unfolding his character as we see it on the big screen is, number one, he's sustained his self. He hasn't portrayed to be like Darius or more Detroit or anything. He's been like Devon. Like, I think that he's exactly himself. And he's been confident the whole way in that. And I think when you are confident who you are just in general, it pulls confident women. And that's why Dominique was attracted. Shannon's confident. Like, Shannon's very confident in who Shannon is. She's confident in her mind. She's confident in her books. She's confident in her God. The things that people find to build value and assets to them is the things that they find to build their confidence as well. So we may not see the same value in a person, but that don't take the value away from them. So, like, when it came to Nicole, I felt like Nicole may not have been as comfortable because Devon is exercising more of his confident mind. Like, I need you to be confident with me. Versus him.
She will want him more so insecure?
Hold on. Yeah. Versus... Get there. Versus him in the, no, baby. No, they don't want me. I'm all yours. The over reassuring. Now, there is a level of security that a man should give to his woman if you do see that there's levels of security. But I don't think that that's his job to consistently validate. I think that it is his job to consistently perform.
Okay.
So that it never breeds doubt, because I know my man. I know what my man do. I see what he do. He ain't got to tell me. You ain't got to tell me where he is. I can tell you where he is. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. That's going to be a wrap on episode 7. It was introduce your past to your future, and as we've seen at the end of this episode, next week we're doing the ladies. So the ladies are going to bring their exes for the guys.
They're going to bring their friends.
Their friends? Oh,
their friends.
Okay, they're going to bring their friends.
And the question is really with this is that, will the dynamic change as the ladies introduce their friends to the men? I'm curious to know what everybody thinks in the comments of who's going to step up and continue to show out, because it's one thing when things are romantic, but when it gets personal, who's going to step up? So it was good of seeing those particular excerpts to see what's going on. I think that the next episode is going to be maybe just as good.
Definitely looking forward to it.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, before we get out of here, let's talk about Christmas, guys. Christmas is coming up. This is our Christmas special. And Christina, what does Christmas mean to you?
Oh, man, Christmas means the ability to focus on God, focus on giving, focus on spreading the joy. Like, when Christmas comes, it's an energy, it's a feeling of piece of intentional kindness. I love Christmas because it gives people a excuse to be nice. You know what I'm saying? Holidays give people an excuse to want to do nice things and be kind. And Christmas, especially since it's supposed to be giving all glory and honor to God, it's bigger than Thanksgiving because it's not for claim.
Are you done shopping?
You know what? Listen, I have young men, and they're like, I want money. You know, these games, they're taking up these, what is all these Robux and all V-Bucks, and they want, when the summertime hits, to have their, four-wheelers and all the, we got 22 acres, so they got a lot of land to just ride on. Yeah.
Sounds good.
But before we, actually, I interject. Because I'm going to bring in the audience questions.
Oh, yeah. No, I guess really what I want to chime in is like not only what she said, but it's just such a great time to where you can spend time with family. And we almost are able to kind of slow down a little bit no matter what. No matter what people believe in, no matter what the case is, having family to be able to come in and celebrate and really think like it's about to be 2026
right
already, And I think it's not only just a beautiful time, because we've all gone through so much throughout the year, but it's like we should definitely know that we're blessed, take time to celebrate, take time to turn up, and, just not take life for granted, Yeah, but we want to get...
That's it. So what about you, Trav?
Oh, yeah.
What are you going to do this Christmas?
You know what? Christmas, Christmas to me, I'm from a big family, family of 7. I had one of those traditional grandmas, big table, a lot of food. I come from that, and now that I have my own family, it's just me and my fiance, and we both cook, and so it's just going to be us. For right now, it's just going to be us, and we do it every Thanksgiving. We do it every Christmas. So we're going to cook. We're going to do ribs. We're doing ribs.
I love that.
We switching everything up. We doing summer. we doing summertime food. We doing summertime food. But I'm very festive. And she's very festive, and I am done shopping. And I am done shopping, man. So I love Christmas. Very festive. Celebrate every holiday, man. I love it. Thank you, Jesus.
I love Christmas. Well, now we're gonna go ahead and dive into our audience questions, and we do have 2. Yep. So we're gonna invite you all to come on up.
Thank you so much for everybody joining us online and in person, and we're going to take up the audience questions. First and foremost, though, we're going to start with ladies first.
Hey, so thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate you coming. Please tell us your name and where you're from.
Yes. So my name is Jade Harris, and I'm from Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, I love that.
Representing.
Okay, and please tell us your question.
Yes. Okay. So it is not typical that your current partners meet your exes. Do you guys feel like that was beneficial, or was that just a no, never again situation?
So for me, I think that I didn't get to meet the exes, but if I were to meet the exes, I think it would be perfect.
Really?
Yeah.
Perfect.
It would, only because here's the thing. The ex is not going to determine what we've already had, right? It will possibly make me understand some of your responses, or maybe assess it in a different perspective. But I think that the only thing that I would value from that interaction would be an outside perspective, because sometimes I could be like, oh, am I tripping? But if somebody else say it too, I'll be like, oh no, it ain't me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, I feel that.
Go ahead, Cardi, what about you?
I think his name is Marvin Sapp. In the words of him, never would have made it. I would never do that. Ever. There's no benefit that really comes out of that. I mean, it's enlightening, it's entertaining, but you don't necessarily want to mix old bath water with new bath water. You just want to make sure you just drain that, And I say all of that to say, like, everybody is going to have their own particular creative process, but what's new is new, and what's old is that's that memory, So I wouldn't do it again.
Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us and your question. Amazing. And who do you got over here?
Beautiful.
Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And fit, and she's so beautiful, right, guys? Ladies.
Y'all too.
And then who do we have here?
Hey, what up, though? This is Jamil Halawani from Nashville, Tennessee.
What up, though?
What up, though?
Question for you is, since you've went through the show, is there any new things that you look for in a partner after going through the process?
Ooh, that's a great one. You go first.
I said, since we're going ladies first. New things that I would look for in a partner. Oh, wow. I think I will always ensure that they're considerate and honest. I think that being on this show may make me consider looking at how their past interactions were. I do think that was a valuable asset to have an insight from the exes, you know?
Really?
Let me tell you something. One of my exes, their mother and their exes, and not in a good way. I'm not plugging in a good way. The mother, well, their ex was like, girl, no, this is a bad idea. The mother was like, do you know? And I'm like, of course I know. And I should ask her, no, what? You know what I'm saying?
Right, you're so
like,
in love that you're just agreeing.
Lost in the
she's
sauce.
trying to put you on the sauce.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
just casually have met the ex. Like, I'm like, how does this happen in real life?
No, I ended up in a relationship with him, and his paperwork was at her house, like his passport, his birth certificate and things.
Yes.
He's like, no, I can't go over there. I'm not dealing with her. She's insane.
Wait, so the ex had that. So he sent you on the
Yes,
mission to
but
go
here's the thing.
retrieve his
This is
documents.
This is what I learned
This is
now.
what you
Check this out. Nah, heck no, because it wasn't that type of conversation. This is what I learned now.
Right, I'm playing.
This is what I learned now because I've been to the space where I understand her. When you've had somebody that's so not worth having in a way that they are not beneficial but more detrimental to you, you're so okay seeing them with anybody else.
But she got
you're
the passports and the documents for a reason. She's like, they're all right here. Come see me.
no, because he
Most
no.
recent ex too.
Yeah, because he just ended up, he was staying with her, you know, and yeah. But that was like, I guess 2-3 weeks or 4 weeks, some long distance, but he never went back to get his things.
Got it.
So the fact that he like, yo, you know, at the time, it's Atlanta stuff, guys. But long story short, it made me realize having at least a small insight into someone's past can really give you a better understanding to the man in front of you, right? And it could be like, wow, he's grown so much. Or it can be like, oh, damn, that's what that is. He's a con artist. He's a con artist because he was a con artist in real life.
He's twice.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, but it helps having an actual puzzle piece and seeing everything of what's going on.
Exactly.
Wrap it up.
More understanding.
Oh yeah. Sorry. It does help to understand the full totality of things because sometimes these sweet nothings, you know, when they're whispered to you,
Man.
you know, it's like, hey, it's good.
You know?
But when other people yell them like run, it's like, okay, you
Maybe-
can really kind of hear it.
And you can only really hear it though if you're not so in love that you
Well,
can't
gotta-
hear nothing or see nothing.
You got to take a step back to
Exact- and
love
that's the
yourself
part.
sometimes, you know?
That's the
You got to
part.
listen to the mama. You got to listen to the friend. You know, it's the
Exactly.
reason why things happen. I think that's a great question, Jamil.
What about you?
I feel that this process has really helped me to analyze not only my past, but I don't necessarily need to see somebody else's past. You know, if
Exactly.
I got now, I don't care who got next. But in all, that's quoted from Jay-Z. But I just feel that like it's really helped me be assured in not only what I bring to the table, but to really double down, you know, with it. Because I think that sometimes people see like all of the glam and the glitz and the lights and stuff. But for me, I've always been, I'm Cardi. And it's just really good to be able to go through this process to know how to talk to people and see their actual love languages and really be able to stand firm on that. You know, so
Well, I got a follow-up question real quick, just for Cardi. Yeah, I'm gonna throw this one in there.
Okay.
So here's the thing: you said that you got now you don't have next, right?
Mm-hmm.
And quick question behind that, because 90% of the people in the world dating right now has a child, right? So
90% is a lot.
you don't think so?
That's a lot. Well, the thing is, I love
Like,
moms.
maybe okay.
Mom hug, I love mamas.
I would
you
say
know?
there's a high percentage because let's
Yeah,
not
90,
go
I'm
very
like 90.
because I think that like
What's
if you
90? You know
no
what
what
I'm
I
saying?
mean
If that
is
was 90 proof,
what
we
I mean
all
is
be dead
like
in this
what I
month.
mean is like grown women out here, a lot of them already have
Yeah,
children
yeah, and men,
so
and
do
men too.
men,
And
right?
men too.
And grown men. So I'm
Yeah.
not talking about little boys. I ain't talking about them 20s. We talking
Yeah.
about 35, 30s and 30 and
Yeah.
up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with that reality, by 30s and up, you probably got a little one running around, right?
Absolutely.
So at the point where you're at this age, dating intentionally, it makes sense to want to know about your ex because we need to
Right.
find out why is that your ex? What happened? Did you learn from it? Are you lying to me to get me now, to put me in the same cycle? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh,
So
and
I'm
if your
not-
ex is okay with it, then they will give you off like, here,
Well, I can agree that there are benefits of actually having the ex dates, but I'm saying there's probably more cons than actual pros. I think that knowing about your ex,
for him, for
right,
sure.
right, but knowing about your ex, knowing other stuff that you want to know if a person is secretive, like knowing a personal criminal like history, knowing if they go to the therapist or not, knowing about these other things that, are we getting help for ourselves, because if a person is always perfect and everything, it's like, well, what's kind of wrong, And then if they have, let's say, children, and you have a situation where you will be around that child, maybe that introduction and stuff can be there, but there still needs to be certain boundaries of what's going on.
Yes.
Having relationships, though, with exes where it's like, all right, I want you to meet Tisha.
No, absolutely
Lisa,
not just randoms.
I just met her, right, just randos.
Yeah, heck no.
But you have to.
Once who have impacted your life or may end up being around because they have a child in
absolutely.
your life.
I would say more permanent fixtures, of course.
Exactly.
Because if you're going to be permanent, they're going to be permanent, but you still also have to set your particular boundaries and accessibility. Like once you moved on, let's say to somebody that is a scam artist, or once you've been wronged by them, they should never get access to your life.
Absolutely.
Mean people should never get access to your life, because if they can, then guess what? They're always going to get access to
your life.
Let's go. Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
With that being said,
T and the D,
episode 8 coming up.
Every Friday we have
Big Trav. We out.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all so much for
Watch
the
parties
questions.
every Friday. Make sure y'all follow on Instagram and on YouTube at TEA. That's the one you drink.
Yep.
And space INTHED. And make sure you follow I'm Cardi.
At I'm Cardi.
And make sure you follow me at INA_LIS. And oh my goodness, don't forget to download Darling. It is available now.
It's available now.
And of course, we wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Ooh,
maybe that wasn't the right song to sing.
No,
that was all.
You killed it. Make sure that y'all stream Darling. Thank you so much to the Big Trav Show, and we will see y'all next week.
God bless y'all. Bye for now.
Yep. Peace.